Don't you just love the smell of fresh whiteboard marker ink? Now I know what you're gonna say, fam. Rindo, what's up with the mask? Well, I like it, okay? Don't judge. But anyway, fam, in today's video, I want to get all hypothetical with you, right? Specifically towards predicting what heroine trope or what girlfriend type would appear in the future coming of this series, The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You manga. Now, at times you can get just a small idea on what, I suppose, what girlfriend could appear next based off on the context clues found in the small text that is written in just the bottom left or right corner of every last page in this manga. The part where up next in the new chapter of this series, that part, right? But today I just want to go over through this hypothetical scenario that I've thought of in which Renter would encounter a nurse girlfriend. And first off, I want to give a big shout out to a frequent commenter on my videos for this idea, which, by the way, thank you very much. Now, with that being said, there's actually two ways on how I wanted to go over this. Firstly is the nurse character, who is a full-time nurse. She's working. This means that she has a job as a nurse, and which also means that there's going to be another adult in the Renter family. The second of which, or the second scenario, the second case rather, is this is a nursing student. Is a girlfriend who is a nursing student. She attends college and she aspires to be a nurse, so she's gonna be going on these nursing duties or on the job trainings and the like. And with that being said, let's get on to fantasizing. Case number one, the full-time nurse. Now, in order to introduce this character into the series, you first need to create a scenario where Rentero would end up in the hospital background to see her, right? Now, I can't ever imagine just one of the girlfriends would be injured or be in an accident and because of that she would have been taken to the hospital. And so I'm just gonna be scratching this idea, just tossing it into the shadow realm. So the only two options left is number one, Rentero is the one who got injured. He himself got injured, and yes, it is true that we get to know Rentero as this being with insane regeneration abilities. But the fact of the matter is that in the manga we do see him end up in a hospital that one time, especially from having full body compound fractures. So there's that. Second of which is that he's visiting a family member who got sick or injured, or perhaps even someone else, a close friend of his, for instance, right? Now, after setting up their encounter and creating this sort of story direction on how they get to know each other and the like, well, I honestly leave it up to you, because imagining all the possible routes or scenarios on how it would take place will just take forever. But what I do want to go over with is the specific quirk or personality of our full-time nurse character. What pops into my mind initially is a germaphobe. Now, you might ask yourselves, well, a germaphobe character, germaphobe nurse for that matter, in a hospital setting? Well, man, Rindo, that's a hospital where the bacteria is exposed and the like. That's ironic, right? Well, if you know the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You manga series, well, you know that they like to twist a lot of things here and there. If I got that spelling wrong, there will be such a fail. But anyway, yeah. Germaphobe. She's all really cautious and really jitty about everything. She's also a great nurse, by the way, an excellent nurse who is great at her job. But the thing is that her co-workers are talking about how she's the only one being praised despite her condition and the like. She could be a sadist. She could be a joker, the nurse who likes to joke around at the hospital, laughing with the patients even though the situation is not called for that. And there's also the type when she is obsessed with helping people, right? And the reason why I'm picturing this is because something happened, because of something that happened in her past. It really pushed her to become a nurse, to study hard, to become a nurse, and do all these things to help people in order to make history not repeat, something like that, or something along those lines rather. Now, as to how she will be introduced in the family, that's a bit tricky, but I was able to find a way into going over that, and that is if she applies as the school nurse in the school of Rentaro, the school Rentaro goes to. Now, we did get to see scenes in the manga in which they were at the nurse's office, but not really towards or showing the nurse themselves, right? But with Hahari's power, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty easy to get her instated or reinstated, transferred. I hope I'm the adjectives correct. To get this nurse character transferred into their school. That way they can spend all the time they want together because they're in school. And this also makes me really appreciate Hahari's addition to the family more. Hahari's character essentially, and it's that because of her authority as the new chairwoman of Rentaro School, we get more flexible ways in finding a lot of reasonings rather to add more characters into the story, i.e. into the school to be with Rentaro. And this also happens in the case with Nadi Sensei. And speaking of school nurse, I can also imagine that Rentaro would meet this nurse character in the school already instead of at the hospital. So if that were the case, it's really quick. He just need to have a injury or some inquiry, I suppose, to get him into the nurse's office, and then they meet each other. A lot of this happens, and then the introduction, so on. Case number 2. This is the nursing student. Now, the tricky part in this problem is the fateful encounter part, specifically in trying to find a scenario in which Rentaro and this character would meet. Well, that's essentially what it means. So I thought up of 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1, OJT, or on-the-job training, right? Now, the nursing student is conducting nursing duties or OJTs as part of her, course and the like, where then she meets Rentaro in the hospital. Pretty simple as that. The second of which is Rentaro attending the Open University or Open Campus. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's that sort of event where the university is open to anyone in the public, to anyone interested in it, where they can attend, where they can join in and take trial classes and the like. It's that sort of situation, that sort of scenario. And so Rentaro would meet this person during his time there. Why he would go to a open campus? Well, he's looking for, I don't know, whatever reason. Looking back, Rentaro is still a first year, so who knows? Maybe he's really looking forward to his future, trying to really get all the options as he can or something. I don't know. I really hadn't thought this all the way through. But that's one possibility, right? That's one of the things that I can think of. It's either that or here's another one. Scenario number 3. There you go. On the streets, right? Rentaro just walking around. He happens to stumble across a man who was having an injury, and then this person who happens to be a nurse practitioner walks by and aids him with the help of Rentaro. They lock eyes, and then bada bing bada boom, the road continues on. Actually, that seems a lot more better than now that I think about it. I just thought about it on the spot. God bless my brain. Oh, I'm weird. But anyway, moving on to the quirks of the girlfriends. Now, of this particular girlfriend rather, I find it to be quite essentially the same as the nurse, except that she's this type of person always has the medical supplies and first aid kits at the ready at all times, which ties in perfectly with the third scenario of them meeting on the streets. Man, I'm good. There's that, but there's also like the sort of personality of hers where she's very straightforward in telling people that, hey, you got a problem with your body, you better go check that out or something like that. It's quite similar to Nano's straightforwardness and just telling people outright that there's something wrong with them or something like that. But hey, Nano's changed, maybe she will too, or something like that, Now, for the family introduction, well, I'd imagine that in her free time she would she could just go to Rentaro's school. But the thing is, fam, there's the whole study time to consider with this character. And I know it's gonna be easy for her to enter the school because with Hahari's authority, she could even allow Yaku to join in, to step foot in school grounds. So it's fine, it's quite simple. So how much more if it's just a college student, right? But well, here's the thing. That whole identity or whole characterization of this student who is attending college, especially at a who's taking nursing as her as part of her course, right? She's gonna be really really busy with studying and the like, and I know that because I know some friends who are taking nursing. So it's really tough on her to really balance out work time, study time, and then also having fun with the family. In other words, getting to be in this manga, right? Now, that's really essentially the only thing that keeps me from finding that really solid way to allow her to go to renter school every day. But you know what? Just like the quirks of the girlfriends, the character tropes, and the storyline in general, we can just leave it to the author to formulate it. Turn it however they want to. And at the end of the day, whatever character is thrown at us, whatever character is gonna appear in this manga, we'll definitely welcome her with open arms, just like how the Rentero family will too. With that being said, take care, family.